It started in the middle of a battlefield under a burning alien sky. Smoke covered the ruined land and screams echoed through the air. The human medic named Darren moved between the injured with fast hands and a heavy heart. He wasn't a soldier. He never wanted to be in a war. But when Earth signed the peace treaty with the Varelians, a proud alien race of warriors, he was assigned to the front lines as a support officer. His job was to heal, not to kill. He ran past a crashed dropship holding his medkit tight. Something inside him said to stop. He turned sharply and saw her. Lying in the dust was a tall figure, green skin glowing even under the ash. Her armor was damaged, and blood shimmered across her legs and arms. Her eyes were closed and her chest moved slowly. It wasn't just another soldier. It was her, the Varelian queen. Darren froze. No one had ever seen her this close. Her face was beautiful, regal, not just in an alien way, but in a quiet strength that made him pause. She was breathing, barely. Around her lay her personal guards, all dead. He dropped beside her without thinking. There was no time to ask for orders. No time to wait for backup. He pulled out the scanner. Multiple wounds. Deep laceration along the thigh. One arm dislocated. Her chest had shallow bruises, possibly cracked ribs. He swallowed and spoke softly, unsure if she could hear him. "I'm going to help you. Don't move." He expected her to strike him, but her body didn't even flinch. Carefully, he placed the surgical patch on her arm and began to stabilize the bones. Then he moved lower, examining the leg wound. Blood pulsed from the deep gash. Alien blood. It shimmered with faint purple light. He reached into the kit, grabbed the stabilizer clamp, and pressed it to her thigh. His hand slipped. She gasped. Her body tensed. A soft sound escaped her lips, not of pain, but something else. Something deeper. Her eyes snapped open. Glowing yellow, sharp, focused. Her hand clutched the sheet under her. Her breath quickened. Her pulse, according to the scanner, was rising unnaturally fast. Darren blinked. "Sorry, I didn't mean..." She stared at him with something he didn't understand. Her pupils narrowed. Her body trembled lightly, and a strange heat seemed to rise from her skin. Not fever. Not shock. Something else. He stepped back. She reached for him. "Stop," she whispered, her voice low, almost growling. "Do not touch again, unless you are ready." He didn't know what she meant. But the scanner did. It beeped in warning. Her hormone levels were spiking, faster than any medical record he'd ever seen. A surge of rare chemicals specific only to her species. He looked again at her face. She wasn't angry. She looked afraid. No, not fear, hunger, but not the kind that could be fed with food. Then he remembered the rumors, the ancient Varelian tales. Queens had only one heat in their lifetime. It was sacred, rare, and dangerous. If triggered, it had to be fulfilled, or it could kill them. And it had to be triggered by touch. Darren froze. Did his hand really just start that? The battlefield outside kept rumbling. But inside that quiet room, everything changed. She was no longer just the queen of a warrior race. She was a woman in the middle of something powerful, something ancient. And now, her golden eyes were locked on him as if he was no longer just a medic, but something more. And he didn't know if he could walk away from this alive. Darren didn't move. His breath was shallow, his hand still hovering over her thigh. The soft hum of the scanner beeped beside them, now silent. The queen's body glowed gently, a faint shimmer running along her skin. Her chest rose and fell with deep, controlled breaths. Her fingers tightened on the sheet again, then loosened. "I did not choose this," she said quietly, her voice strange, strong but shaken. "I didn't mean to," Darren replied, trying to keep calm. "It was an accident. I was just trying to stop the bleeding." She slowly turned her head toward him. Her face was beautiful but unreadable. Accident or not, the heat has begun. It cannot be undone now. He didn't understand all of it, but one thing was clear. This wasn't just a physical reaction. It was something deeper, something rooted in Varelian biology. The ancient stories weren't myths. They were warnings. She sat up slowly. Darren instinctively reached out to support her, but she flinched. "No more touching. Not unless..." She stopped herself, her voice low. Her strength was returning faster than expected. The scanner blinked again, showing rising internal energy. Her body was already adapting. The heat wasn't weakening her, it was awakening something inside her. "I need to get you out of here," Darren said. "This isn't a safe zone anymore. We've already lost the North Ridge. If the enemy finds out you're here, she interrupted him. They will not find out. You're the only one who knows. My guards are dead. Her eyes narrowed slightly. You touched me. You triggered the right. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she looked away as if searching for the words. When a queen enters heat, her body and spirit demand a bond. Not a random one. The one who awakens it must see it through. If left incomplete, it becomes a sickness. It will consume me. He stepped back again. That can't be real. It's a biological process, not some curse. She gave him a tired smile. You humans always try to explain everything with science. But there is no medicine for what's begun. His mind raced. There has to be another way. Another healer. A ritual to reverse it. There is not. And you are delaying. He paused. What do you mean? Her breathing deepened again. Her skin pulsed with a faint gold now, not just green. Her eyes seemed heavier, her muscles tense. She leaned forward slightly as if resisting something inside. The longer you wait, she whispered, the harder it becomes to stop the pain. A loud blast echoed outside. Dust rained down from above. The battle was getting closer. Darren looked at her, then at the door. You can't walk far in this state. I'll carry you. She gave him a sharp look. You would risk your life for me? You're not just a queen, he said. You're a person. And right now you're hurt. That's all that matters to me. She didn't respond, but her eyes softened for the first time. He grabbed a nearby cloak, gently draped it over her shoulders, and offered his arm. She hesitated, then took it. Her hand was warm, too warm. They moved through the dim corridor, heading toward the evac tunnel. As they stepped into the flickering light, she spoke again. You're not like other humans. I'm not trying to be. You have no idea what you've started, she whispered. And Darren, guiding her through the shadows, knew she was right. Because in her touch, in that strange heat rising off her skin, he felt it too. Something ancient. Something binding. Something that would change both of them forever. The underground tunnel was old but stable. It had been built long ago when the first peace talks between Earth and the Varelians began. Now it was a forgotten path, used only for emergencies. Darren guided the queen carefully through the narrow corridor, keeping one arm around her waist as her body leaned heavily into him. She didn't speak. Her eyes were focused ahead, but her breath was still uneven. Her skin had grown warmer even through the cloak. It was like carrying a living flame, controlled, but barely. Darren's mind raced with questions. He didn't know what to do next. He wasn't trained for this. He was a medic, not a diplomat, and certainly not whatever this strange rite was pulling him into. He tried to focus on keeping her stable, one step at a time. Suddenly, she stumbled. He caught her quickly and lowered her to one knee. Her hand gripped his shirt, her eyes wide with sudden tension. She was trembling again. Sweat. No, something like glowing mist, gathered on her forehead. It's happening again, she said quietly. The wave. Darren knelt beside her. What do I do? She looked at him, pupils narrowing. Just stay still. Let it pass. He watched helplessly as her body tensed. Her legs shook, her shoulders tight. The scanner in his pack was going wild, her vitals jumping higher than before. Her heat was peaking in cycles now, not steady. She was struggling to control it. Is it supposed to hurt like this? She nodded slowly. It's not meant to be resisted. Her words hit him. She was holding it back. For him. Because he hadn't chosen this. That realization made something inside Darren shift. He looked at her, not as a queen, not as an alien, but as someone fighting a battle no one else could see. Someone trying to stay strong when her own body was turning against her. He gently touched her hand. She didn't pull away this time. You don't have to fight it alone, he said. Her eyes met his. For a long moment she said nothing. Then, quietly, she asked, "Why do you care?" He paused. Because you didn't ask for this either, and maybe I triggered something ancient in you, but you awakened something in me too. I don't understand it yet, but I'm not walking away. She stared at him, surprised. Even if this joins us forever? Darren didn't answer right away. The silence stretched between them as the sounds of distant fighting faded behind thick stone. Finally, he nodded. "I'll stay until you tell me to go." Her fingers curled around his hand. "Then you should know. There are no lies in this kind of bond. If we complete the rite, I will feel what you feel, and you will feel everything in me." "I'm not afraid of that," he said, though his voice shook slightly. She stood slowly, steadier this time. The tremble was still there, but less violent now. His presence had calmed the wave. Her breathing eased. "The tunnel leads to the old sanctuary," she said. "We will be safe there. For a time." He helped her walk again, this time with less weight on his arm. As they moved through the quiet, stone corridor, he could feel her heat like a quiet pulse between them, not painful now but present, like a thread connecting their steps. And behind them, the shadows of war crept closer, unaware that something far older than war had already begun. The sanctuary was deeper than Darren expected. The tunnel led them through thick stone halls until they reached a wide chamber, carved with symbols that glowed faintly along the walls. A circular pool shimmered at the center, its waters calm and silver blue. Above them, soft lights blinked in an ancient pattern, casting a quiet peace over the room. The queen looked stronger now. Her steps were firm, but Darren could still feel the warmth in her skin when he helped her sit near the water's edge. She exhaled slowly, letting her hands rest on her knees, and looked around with quiet memory in her eyes. "This place was built long ago," she said. "Before my time, before humans arrived. It was where queens came when the rite was near." Darren sat beside her, keeping a little distance. "So this has happened before?" "Yes, but not for over 300 years. It only happens once, and only if awakened." He looked at her carefully. "You said the rite must be completed. What happens if it isn't?" Her gaze dropped to the water. "The heat becomes fire. It spreads through the blood. The body burns from inside. It's slow and cruel." He swallowed hard. "How long do we have?" She looked back at him, eyes soft but firm. "Not long." The silence grew heavy between them. Darren shifted, trying to think clearly. "Isn't there any other way? Some ritual, medicine, science, something?" She shook her head. "This is older than rituals, older than science. It's not just about the body, it's about the bond." He nodded slowly. "So it has to be someone the queen trusts?" "No," she said. "It has to be the one who triggered it. No one else can stop it now. Not even me." He sat back, stunned. "I didn't mean to. But now I'm the only one who can help." She reached for the edge of her cloak and tightened it around her. "Yes, but I will not force you. I can still walk for a while. Perhaps I will find a way to delay it longer." "You don't look like you believe that." "I don't," she whispered. He looked at her, really looked. She was strong, beautiful, and brave, but underneath it all, he could see it now. She was scared. Not of him, but of the pain, of the unknown, of what it meant to need someone like this. Darren took a breath. "What do I have to do?" Her head lifted slightly. "Are you sure?" "I don't know anything about your world, your customs, your biology, but I know what it means to save a life. And I won't watch you die because of something I caused." Her lips parted slightly. She said nothing at first, but her eyes filled with a light that wasn't there before. "Then we must begin the joining." Darren hesitated. "What is that?" She looked toward the pool. "It starts with the mind, then the heart, then the body. Each step must be accepted freely." He glanced at the symbols on the wall, then back at her. "And if I agree, then we are bonded. Forever. Through war, peace, time, and death." He sat quietly, trying to process what that meant. It sounded like more than just survival. It sounded like a promise, like fate. She rose to her feet. "We don't have much time. The first step is trust. Will you walk into the water with me? He stood. I will. And together, they stepped toward the glowing pool, their reflections merging on the surface as something ancient awakened beneath the still water. The water was warm. Not just warm, it pulsed gently like it had a heartbeat of its own. Darren stepped into it beside the Queen, and the moment their feet touched the surface, the symbols along the chamber walls flared brighter. He didn't know what they meant, but the air shifted. It was like the room was watching, waiting. The Queen held out her hand toward him. He took it without question. This part is not painful, she said softly. It is memory. You will see mine. I will see yours. His eyes widened. All of it? She nodded. There is no hiding in the joining. Our truths must touch. He hesitated only for a breath, then gave a quiet nod. Okay, I'm ready. She leaned closer, forehead gently touching his. Her skin felt hot against his, not burning but intense, like the heat of a star wrapped in silk. As their foreheads touched, the water began to glow around them. Light swirled up their legs, their chests, until it circled their heads like mist. Suddenly, Darren's mind wasn't in the room anymore. He was falling through flashes, images that weren't his. A childhood on a burning red world. A throne room with a silent mother. Training with a sword twice her size. Endless years of being watched, judged, feared. Loneliness buried under pride. A crown placed on her head with shaking hands. Then he saw something more recent. Her walking through fire to save her people. Her falling during the ambush. Her eyes opening under Darren's touch. The exact moment her heart realized she was no longer alone. Then it stopped. And now she saw him. The old Earth hospitals. The cries of children in broken cities. The long nights in battlefield tents. The moment his hands froze during surgery. The first time someone died under his care. The shame. The silence. The vow to never let another soul die if he could help it. She pulled away slowly. Both of them were breathing harder. The water around them still glowed, but softer now. You are not what I expected, she said. Neither are you, Darren replied. He looked down at their hands, still joined. Her fingers tightened slightly. The mind has accepted, she said. The second step is the heart. What do we do? No words. Just presence. She moved closer, letting their hearts align. Darren could feel hers, fast, wild, barely held back. His own chest matched it slowly, as if his body already knew the rhythm. The space between them disappeared. He looked into her eyes. Why me? Because you didn't run, she said. Because you saw me when I didn't want to be seen. Their breaths synced. The chamber quieted again. The wall symbols faded to calm blue. She leaned into him, resting her head gently on his chest. You don't belong to my world, she whispered. But my world has chosen you. Darren didn't move. He just held her, unsure of what to say. And maybe words weren't needed. After a while, she pulled back. There is one more step, she said. The body. His heart beat faster. I'm not asking for that now, she added quickly. Not until you fully accept what it means. He nodded. I need to understand. But I'm not leaving. She stepped out of the water slowly. He followed her, both of them dripping. Both of them changed. Behind them, the pool dimmed. Ahead of them, the final choice waited. And far above, the war outside slowed. For something older than war had been set in motion. And it would not stop until completed. They found a small chamber beside the sanctuary pool. It had soft bedding, old stone seats, and walls marked with symbols glowing dimly in silver and green. The air was still safe. Darren helped the Queen sit gently, then took a seat across from her. He could still feel the water drying on his skin, but his heart hadn't calmed yet. The heat around her had changed. It wasn't wild now, it was quiet, contained but present. She watched him with calm eyes, but something deeper stirred behind them. Her body was still glowing softly, as if her skin held fire beneath the surface. You've passed 2 of the 3 stages, she said. Most never reach this far. The bond is already forming. Darren looked down at his hands. They were steady even though his chest felt tight. What happens if we stop here? She hesitated. Then the bond will remain incomplete. I will suffer. Slowly, you will feel echoes of it too. The connection is shared now. He looked up. You'll die? Yes, she said simply. He exhaled, leaning forward. I don't want that. I know, she replied. But this last step, he added, I don't want to do it because of duty. I want to mean it. A small smile touched her lips. That's what makes it real. Most who start this rite do it out of power or need. You are the first to question it like this. I don't want to hurt you, he said softly. You won't, she whispered, unless you leave. Her voice was calm, but her eyes flickered with hidden fear. She had faced armies, ruled planets, given orders that shaped history. But now, sitting in front of a human medic, she looked like someone waiting to be seen. Darren stood up and walked slowly to her side. He knelt beside her, not touching, but close. Tell me what this means to you. She turned to him. It means surrender. For someone like me, surrender is harder than war. I spent my life proving I didn't need anyone. Now my own body says otherwise, he nodded. Then let's take one breath at a time. They sat there in silence. The glow of the chamber walls reflected softly on their skin. His hand hovered near hers but didn't move. I will not rush you, she said, but I will not survive the full cycle if the bond remains open. How much time? A day, maybe 2. After that, the body begins to turn against itself. The energy becomes poison. He clenched his jaw. There has to be another way. There isn't. I'm sorry. Darren looked at her for a long moment and then slowly reached out. This time she didn't flinch. Their fingers touched and her breath caught. I may not understand your customs, he said, but I understand pain. I've seen it. I've stopped it. If this is the only way to save you, then I'll do it, but not because I'm trapped. Because I choose you, her lips parted. She looked at him not as a queen, but as a woman on the edge of something terrifying and beautiful. Then we must begin before the next wave begins. Not yet, he said gently. I want to talk first. About what comes after, if we survive. No one's ever asked that, she replied. Then let me be the first. And so before heat and instinct could take over, the two of them talked. About her people, his world, what the bond would mean, what trust really looked like between two species that were never meant to meet like this. Outside, the war thundered faintly. Inside, something more powerful was unfolding, and the next step would come not by force but by choice. Darren woke to the soft glow of the chamber walls, but it wasn't light that stirred him. It was her breathing. The queen sat near him, wrapped in a dark cloak, her back to the wall, eyes closed, but her body tense. Her hands trembled slightly. The heat had returned. He sat up quickly. Are you all right? She opened her eyes slowly. It's starting again. He reached for the scanner, but she gently pushed it aside. No tools now. It's too deep for machines. Her voice was softer than before, but strained. Her skin shimmered with faint gold pulses that ran down her neck, across her arms. Even without touching her, he could feel the pressure rising in the air, as if something ancient and powerful was pressing against the walls of the room. I thought we had more time, he said. So did I, she whispered. Darren moved beside her. He didn't touch her yet. He watched the waves of warmth flowing from her body, the way her chest rose and fell faster, the way her pupils widened with each breath. She was trying to control it for him, but it was clear she was losing the battle. I'm here, he said quietly. Her hand reached for his, fingers shaking. If you take the final step, the bond becomes forever. Your body, your scent, your memory, everything will be locked into mine. You won't be able to undo it. He looked down at her hand in his. I'm not afraid of that. You should be, she said. Because once we begin, I won't be able to stop. My instincts will take over. The queen's fire doesn't fade until it's answered fully. Darren nodded. Then don't hold back. Let me help you. She closed her eyes again as if surrendering. Then listen. There's one more part of the rite I didn't tell you. What is it? She opened her eyes, and for the first time he saw not fear but sorrow. When a queen completes her rite with an outsider, our bond burns deeper than most. If you leave me after it is done, I won't survive. He froze. You mean, if I walk away, it'll kill you? Yes, not instantly. But the body won't understand the loss. It will think I've been abandoned during heat. It will become an internal attack. A slow death. Darren felt a weight settle on his chest. So this isn't just about saving you now. It's about staying with you after? She nodded. That's why I was afraid to ask. Because I knew you had no reason to stay. He took a long breath, heart pounding. Then he leaned closer. You're wrong. Her eyes met his. I do have a reason, he said. I just didn't know it until now. What is it? You, he said simply. Not the queen, not the rite, just you. Her breath hitched. A shimmer of light danced across her skin, brighter than before. "I won't walk away," he added. "If we do this, I stay. I don't know what that means for your people, or mine. But I'm not leaving you to face this alone." Tears didn't come easily to her kind, but a glimmer formed at the corner of her eye and vanished before it could fall. "Then let the rite complete," she whispered. "Let the bond finish what you started." When your hand slipped, and in that quiet sanctuary, as the chamber lights grew warmer, the final step began, not as a mistake, but as a choice made between two hearts, once strangers, now forever joined by something neither had planned. But both could no longer deny. The bond was completed. Darren sat quietly beside her, the Queen's head resting lightly against his shoulder. Her skin had cooled, but the glow still lingered faintly across her arms like fading embers. The air inside the sanctuary no longer pulsed with heat. Instead, it felt calm, still, almost sacred. Neither of them spoke for a long time. He wasn't sure what had changed inside him, but something had. It wasn't just a feeling. He could sense her now, not just her presence but her emotions, her calm, her exhaustion, even her quiet pride. They were connected. She stirred beside him. "You feel it too," she said softly. "Yes," he whispered. "It's like I can hear you without sound." "That's the bond," she said. "It is more than joining bodies. Our thoughts may remain separate, but our feelings, they will echo forever." He turned toward her. "And now you'll survive," she nodded. "The fire is gone. My body is at peace." Darren exhaled in relief, but before he could say more, a low vibration rumbled through the stone beneath them. The ground shook slightly. The lights above flickered. The Queen stood quickly. Her strength had returned completely now. That wasn't nature, he grabbed the scanner. It's seismic movement, but not natural. That was an impact. She moved toward the chamber entrance. The enemy found us. He followed her out into the hallway, their footfalls echoing together. "How? This place was sealed," she paused. "I marked it with my blood. That should have hidden it, unless they're tracking you," Darren said. "They might be," she admitted. "Some in my court didn't want the rite completed. They believed no queen should ever bond with an outsider. You think someone betrayed you?" "Yes, and now they know where I am." They reached the tunnel entrance. Dust fell from the ceiling above as another tremor shook the stone. A sound followed, a faint humming, unnatural and cold. Darren listened. "That's a drone engine. Scout class," she replied. "They're close. Do we run?" She turned toward him. "No, we fight," he blinked. "You just finished the rite. Shouldn't you rest?" She took his hand. "The rite didn't weaken me. It made me whole again." The glow in her eyes had returned, but now it was sharp, focused, not from heat, but from clarity. She no longer looked like someone struggling to survive. She looked like a queen who had just reclaimed her power. "We'll never make it far underground," Darren said. "But maybe if we collapse the entrance, then we trap ourselves," she said. "And they'll just dig us out," he frowned. "There has to be another exit." "There is," she said. "But it's through the upper chamber, guarded by a seal only I can unlock." "Then let's go." They moved quickly now. She led the way, her steps light, her senses sharp. Darren stayed close, watching her from the side. He could feel her confidence return with every stride. And yet, deep in her bond, he still sensed the lingering threat of fear, not for herself, but for him. "You're afraid I'll get hurt," he said. She glanced at him. "I forget you can feel it now." "I don't mind," he said. "It means you care." They reached the staircase and she placed her palm on a glowing panel. It lit up, scanning her energy. With a low hiss, the upper chamber doors slid. Open light poured through, but so did a figure, tall, armored, Virilian, eyes burning with anger. "You broke the code." The voice growled at the Queen. "You gave your fire to a human. The council will not accept this," she stepped forward. "The right is mine. The choice was mine. Then you will die with him." Darren instinctively reached for her hand. Her fingers tightened in his. Whatever came next, they would face it together. The armored figure stepped fully into the light. His tall frame blocked the exit, his weapon drawn and humming with deadly charge. Two more shadows appeared behind him, smaller but equally dangerous. Darren felt a chill run down his back. They weren't just scouts. These were royal enforcers, the Queen's own people. "They sent you?" she asked, her voice calm but cold. "We followed your signature," the lead soldier said. "Your heat flared beyond limits. The council feared you were compromised. I completed the rite, she replied. The fire is gone. With a human, he hissed. You've broken our deepest law. No law is above survival, she said. And he saved my life. Darren stood quietly beside her, heart pounding, but he didn't speak. He didn't need to. Her body shifted closer to his, protectively. You could have bonded with any of our own, the soldier said. Yet you chose him. You let him carry your flame. Do you even understand what that means? I understand better than any of you, she said. He didn't take my fire. He gave me his strength. The soldier raised his weapon. Then you are no longer fit to rule. Without warning, she moved. It was like watching light turn into motion. Her body shot forward, cloak flying behind her, hand glowing with deep golden energy. She struck the weapon with one palm. Metal cracked and exploded in sparks. The soldier flew backward, crashing into the wall. The others stepped forward. But Darren moved too. He didn't have weapons, but he grabbed a long staff from the chamber's corner, likely part of old ceremonial armor. As one enforcer lunged toward him, Darren ducked under the swing and struck back hard. The impact was sloppy, but it was enough to knock the attacker off balance. The queen spun beside him, striking the second enforcer low in the stomach, then flipping him to the ground with terrifying grace. When it was done, all three were down, groaning, stunned but alive. Darren panted, leaning against the staff. You sure you're fully healed? She looked at him and smiled slightly. The bond returned more than my strength. It gave me purpose, he smiled back. Good, because I really don't want to fight more of them. She stepped toward the fallen soldiers. Listen to me. The old ways are dying. You can go back to the council and tell them I broke the rite, or you can tell them I survived it. The flame is not dead. It has evolved. They'll never accept him, one groaned. They won't have to, she said. They'll accept me, and he is part of me now. The soldiers didn't respond. Their pride was hurt more than their bodies. Darren looked at her. Do we have time to get out? Yes, she said. But we must reach my flagship before the council sends more. He followed her up the last steps. Outside the stone doors, the sky burned orange as the war above still raged. But a sleek silver vessel hovered nearby, her personal escape ship, voice activated and cloaked until now. She turned to him. Once we leave this place, there is no going back. To your people, you'll be something else. To mine, you already are. I didn't come this far to turn around, he said. Her hand reached for his. This time there was no trembling, no heat, only calm. They stepped aboard the ship together. As the ramp closed behind them, the engines lit, and the earth below began to fade. But Darren knew the real challenge wasn't over. It was waiting in the stars, where an ancient empire would soon face a new truth. Their queen had chosen a human, and the galaxy would never be the same. The queen's flagship rose through the clouds, leaving the war-torn surface behind. Inside, the air was still, silent, but the tension had only changed direction. Now it pointed toward the stars, toward her homeworld and the ancient throne waiting in judgment. Darren stood near the viewing window, staring at the black void ahead. Stars blinked gently in the distance, uncaring. The ship hummed softly beneath his feet. Every system was running perfectly. Everything felt calm except inside him. She stood behind him, her reflection visible in the glass. You're quiet, she said. I'm thinking, he replied, about what comes next. He nodded. I'm just a medic. I don't belong in front of alien councils. You're not just anything, she said, walking closer. You're the one who stayed when you didn't have to. You carried my fire when others ran from it. He turned to face her. That might not be enough. They'll see me as a mistake. Then let them see, she replied. I am the queen. I decide what is sacred, and I chose you. Darren searched her eyes for doubt. There was none. Still, he asked, what if they force you to give up the throne? Then I give it up, she said. But I won't give up you. His heart slowed. You'd give up your crown? I nearly gave up my life, she said. What is a crown compared to that? Before he could answer, a soft tone echoed through the ship. A message. Incoming. She stepped to the console, touched the control panel. A projection flickered to life. Tall, robed figures standing in a circle. The High Council. The lead elder spoke first. Queen Veralia. We received word of your right, and of the human. Darren stepped back, but she held out her hand. Stay. Stand with me. He obeyed. The council's eyes shifted toward him, expressions unreadable. You violated ancient law, another elder said. You let an outsider claim your heat. He didn't claim it, she said. I offered it, and he answered. Your flame was meant to guide our people, a third added, not burn in a foreign hand. It still guides, she said, but now it burns with clarity, with balance. Silence followed. The first elder spoke again. And what does the human say? Darren hesitated. Then he stepped forward. I didn't ask for any of this, but I didn't run from it either. I didn't see a queen when I treated her wounds. I saw someone in pain, someone trying to live. The chamber remained still. She didn't choose weakness, Darren added. She chose survival. And I chose her. The council whispered among themselves, voices fading in and out. Then the lead elder raised a hand. The rite is complete, and so the law has already been fulfilled. What is done, the queen raised her chin. Then you accept the bond? No, the elder said. We accept you, the message ended. The room fell quiet again. Darren blinked. They did, she said softly. We are no longer in danger, he exhaled in disbelief. So what now? She turned to him with a small smile. Now we return home. He laughed gently. Where exactly is that? She reached for his hand, intertwining her fingers with his. Wherever you are. Outside, the stars grew larger as the ship tilted toward the Virelian capital. The war below had ended. The old ways had bent, and a new future, unexpected and undesired by many, had begun, sparked by one accidental touch. A human's hand had slipped, and the queen of a starborn race had never been the same since.